Hello, my name is Maz and I'm the owner of Garage Therapy, in fact 50% owner of Garage Therapy. My business partner Roger Holmes is the other 50%, he's not here with me today. So why this video? Well, yesterday I picked up my new, well it's new to me, Porsche 997 Gen 1 Turbo. The reason why I picked this particular car here, after a lot of research and being a bit of a Porsche enthusiast, is because of the Mezger engine, and it's a true race-derived engine from Porsche, unlike the DFI engine where that's been slightly modified over the base engine here. So what this video is a start of a series of vlogs that we'll be doing on the car. It's in relatively good condition. It's a 2007 car. It has had various work done to it over its lifetime. The good thing about the car is it's got a full history. All of the repairs have been done by Porsche or a Porsche specialised dealer. And all the repairs have been documented over its lifetime. As I was saying, being relatively new to this is going to be a series of vlogs where we detail the car and fix the imperfections in the car. What is interesting actually with this car is it has been G-Technique Platinum touched, as it were. So there may well be a ceramic coating on here. I've measured all the panels in terms of paint thickness, and everything is original apart from the bonnet and the front bumper and the back bumper. What Porsche typically do is when they see the cars are getting a bit tired and there's quite a few stone chips, they will blow over the various panels. So it's typically well, you could argue it's a good colour match. I have seen examples where there's bad colour matches. This one's probably about a 7 out of 10. I won't really know until I machine polish it and get some of the buffer trails and the swirl marks out of it to see its true colour shine through. But overall, in terms of swirls, it's not too bad. I've seen a lot worse, especially since this is a 2007 car. So it's not new, and most definitely can be improved for certain. So as I said, this will be a series of vlogs whereby we correct and clean various sections of the car and restore it back to as new condition as we possibly can, given its age. So what we're going to be using today in cleaning the steering wheel and getting some of that dirt and grime off the steering wheel and trying to restore the finish. So I've got colour lock brush here. It's quite a well-known brush. A lot of manufacturers relabel this brush. It's probably the best brush out there, certainly. I've also got a Valet Pro brush which has got slightly stronger bristles, but I actually think this is actually a little bit too aggressive, but I'm keeping it here just in case, you never know. I don't normally recommend using magic sponges on leather because I think it compromises the protective coating at the top, but in this case where there's so much in the grime and there appears to be some kind of leather dressing, or I don't want to say silicone dressing because I don't know that to be the case, but there's certainly some dressing on there. I've got Costco microfiber for destructive cleaning tasks. The reason why I'm not picking like a softer cloth for the initial cleaning process is because one, I want something with a little bit more bite to it, especially when rubbing down the steering wheel, and another reason for having this softer into detailing edgeless. I think this is 300 GSM, maybe slightly less GSM, but this is slightly discoloured, but this will be at the later stage when I'm buffing off the residue and any chemical that I put on there. to restore or attempt to restore the finish. The chemicals I'm going to be using to clean the leather steering wheel is Polestar, which is a textile leather and alacantara cleaner. I've been using this for a very long time. It's made by Porsche and tried and tested. You can play around with the dilution ratios. For really heavy contamination you use 1:5. For lighter contamination you use 1:20. I think what I've already got mixed up in here is 10:1. Maybe it's a little bit weaker, but I'll see how that goes. I could use LRC leather cleaner, which is a pre-made solution. It's quite strong solution, I would say, out of the box. I use it on really heavily contaminated areas. To be fair, I've not been using it for that long, but it seems a good product. And for protectant, I'll either use Leather Star, again by Porsche. Really good, leaves a matte finish, no residue, it smells really nice. And I could use the LRC protection cream. Again, this is a very good product. I do recommend it, especially from a cream perspective. I wouldn't be surprised if it was similar to Colour Lock Shield. I haven't tried Colour Lock Shield yet, but I suspect it's very similar to these products. So what else I'll be using is a warm bucket of water. I think this is an overlooked step, and when I actually begin to clean the steering wheel, I'll run you through what I do with this. Okay, let's start by marking the centre of the wheel so we can do a 50-50 shot. First thing I'm going to do is wet my microfiber. And the reason why I'm going to wet the microfiber is to wipe the wheel down. So this is actually quite an important step, I feel, when cleaning leather, and I think it's an overlooked step, is before you start cleaning your leather, you should really give it a good wipe down with water. And what I have overlooked just now is protecting the surrounding areas from overspray, which I think is quite important. So I don't want to get chemical everywhere, although the whole interior needs to be clean, to be honest. I'm not really sure it's going to matter, but I've got another waffle weave towel here, I should say, to mop up any excess water whilst I go at it. I've got my implements on the seat next to me. If I wasn't recording, I'd typically have a tray here with all my implements. So you get your wet microfiber towel and you just give it a good going over, just to get any surface dirt off. Just be careful around the stitching so you don't fray the stitching. So what I tend to do is, if you put your hand in here and you just roll and dab very lightly, it looks like I'm putting pressure but I'm not, and that just pulls the dirt off. You can't really see it, but there is some dirt coming off the wheel. So you do need to be careful when cleaning leather generally, especially if the wheel's in good condition, because the actual fibres of the microfiber are grabby, they're like little hooks. And if you're overzealous with the microfiber, especially the cheaper ones, like the Costco ones, you can compromise the clear of the leather, the protectant on the leather, which long term is not good. Some leathers are more prone to damage than others. So as you can see, it's not really doing too much, not as much as what I thought it would do, which in a way is a bit of a shame. was hoping that it was going to make a bigger difference, so I wouldn't have to go as aggressive on this side of the wheel. But let's put this back in here, dry it. So it has taken the sheen off the wheel, certainly, especially compared to the left hand side, which is a start. So there's hope. That's always, when there's hope, that's always good. So my technique when working on a steering wheel is I make sure that I've got a microfiber, so in this case the waffle weave towel. I spray an area down. In this case I'm saturating it quite a bit. I get my brush, I just slowly work the brush on the affected area. And I think the key, I guess this is not really discussed, but I feel there is a technique when cleaning leather steering wheels. So I tend to hold the brush with my tips because that stops me applying too much pressure on the brush. So if you hold the brush too much in your palm of your hand, you then naturally start leveraging some of your weight on the brush and you push down harder. Whereas if you hold it on your tips, you're less likely to apply too much pressure. So the chemical's starting to dry out a little bit here. So I'll get my wet microfiber. I'll take off that chemical. Dry it off. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So it's coming back a little bit, I must say. So we're getting a little bit more of a matte feel. It's not perfect, but it's much better than what it was especially compared to the top. I don't know if you can hear this. It's almost like rubbing rubber. So right, so let's repeat. So move to another area. Soak down the chemical. Get our brush. Start working it in. Can actually see the suds of the cleaner turning grey brown, where it's lifting up the dirt embedded in the leather. This is certainly going to need another couple of passes for sure. So I will bring you in closer, but I'm not sure if you can see any visual difference from this bottom bit here to the top bit here. Certainly feels a little bit better, but it's nowhere near where I'd want it to be. I hope in this case it's not a new steering wheel. time. So I'd like to keep the car original as possible, but let's continue. Microfiber. In this case here, we'll just spray this bit down. I think it is inevitable that you're going to get overspraying these types of cleaning tasks. So I'll recommend cleaning your glass last, because there's nothing more annoying than having a clean window or your glass and then you get overspray from another cleaning duty that you're doing. Wasting more time cleaning the same area again or getting a smudge mark, then you can't get the smudge mark off. That's very frustrating. Apply a little bit more cleaning product. Wet cloth, let's get this detergent off. Okay, so the appearance is looking better. Definitely returning to a more matte finish, which is good. It's nothing worse than looking at a black shiny steering wheel. But in terms of the tactile feedback, it's certainly not as soft as I would like, which would suggest that I carry on with this process. So what you could do is get your magic sponge and for demonstration purposes spray it a little bit with your chemical, your cleaning chemical, and work it. Try not to apply lots of pressure. But you can see here all the dirt is taking off. Again, I worry about what it's doing to the protective coating on the leather. However, in this scenario where the wheel is 11, how old is this car? Nearly 13 years old. The protective coating's probably had it already, to be fair. Spray a little bit more. Try to get the back of it as well. It's often an overlooked area. So now we're really getting somewhere with this wheel now. I will bring you in closer, but it's starting to feel like leather. Definitely starting to feel like leather. And I'm pleasantly surprised because I've only used the magic sponge for these occasions a few times, and
I've always had really good results with it, but I've always been really dubious about using these magic sponges because of the damage, the long-term damage it can do to leather. So I've always stuck to the brushes. But in this case, where it's pulled off the dirt, you can really see the difference on the steering wheel. And I think when you're in a position like I am, where this is a 13-year-old wheel, that's, I would generally probably get this redone, refurbished. It just goes to show, with a little bit of perseverance and a little bit of altered technique, you can get your desired results. So I'm just going to do one more pass with the brush and a little bit with the magic eraser. And then show you the results. Of the 50/50. Again, as I'm working in the cleaner and the foam it produces, the foam instantly goes this dark brown, maybe not brown, but certainly grey appearance, even though the area's been cleaned. So it's not dye transfer, it's just the dirt that you never got the first time round that's more ingrained into the leather. So I do think it's important to certainly go over twice at the very least, and try not to alter your pressure. Try and be light. It might sound like I'm applying pressure, but I'm really not. Get your wet cloth, remove the detergent. So it's important to be consistent and systematic with your cleaning. You want repeatable results. If you start deviating from your process and you get different results, and sometimes that's an explanation. However, that's not to say that one process can fix every scenario. It certainly doesn't. You do need to adapt your process. You need to be agile to the problem faced, for sure. So, this down quickly. Just don't want a lot of product going all over the place. It is dripping, as you can see here, it's dripping down, which is a good thing. I'm putting this drying towel here just to mop up any chemical. And I am getting overspray from the brush on the windscreen inside, so that's something to take note of, especially when you're cleaning your wheels, especially when you've got a really clean car and you're just doing a quick maintenance clean on your wheel. It's obviously a good idea to protect the clean components around the steering wheel and probably give your windscreen a wipe down afterwards. Just going to use the magic eraser again just to lightly hit it. Especially around the back of the steering wheel. As you can see, I just ripped it there. I was a bit too vigorous in my finger. Get your wet cloth, take off all that dirt and chemical. Just give it a nice rinse. Let's give this a good dry. So let me stop the video here and bring you in. So here's the bucket with the water that we use to flush the chemical from the leather steering wheel, and you can see it's all cloudy. That's just the steering wheel, nothing else. So it goes to show that you need to certainly remove the chemical off the wheel, and it will pick up dirt. It's an incredibly important part, I believe, of cleaning leather. So with any chemicals, give it a good shake. So with Leather Star, you should be quite generous with it, as per the instructions. So as you can see, I put quite a lot on there, and I'm just going to cake the wheel with the revitalising cream and protective elements as well, so it can penetrate the leather. So it looks quite shiny now, but what will happen is that the leather will absorb through the clear coat if it's still there and not compromised, and into the hide. Bringing you in here close, see the final results of the steering wheel. It's all protected now. It's much more subtle and matte than it was before. The lighting doesn't help, it makes it look like it's got a slight sheen through the camera, but it's actually quite matte, which is great. Quite a big turnaround, and you can even see the stitching is cleaned up nicely as well. It's not quite white, it's more like a grey, but it's certainly much cleaner than it was before. Real big turnaround.
Wrapping up the video, as you can see from the footage, the steering wheel came out really well. I'm really pleased. It took a bit of effort, adapted the technique a little bit in terms of pressure and the amount of product I was putting on there, and scrubbing the leather, and using the magic eraser made a really big difference. I think it's quite telling really that even with a wheel that looked as bad as that, a shiny finish, you could really tell that it was dirty, and whoever attempted to clean it previously probably applied a cheap dressing over the top of it, possibly not even designed for leather. Maybe it was a trim dressing that they've applied on there, and it's just created this horrible plasticky, shiny finish to the leather, and it took a bit of scrubbing to get that off, and the magic eraser I think really helped with that. Makes you wonder really how much damage possibly the magic eraser has done to the clear, if there was any left on the leather steering wheel, but I guess we'll never really know until there's like colour transfer, or the dye starts fading at some point. What was disappointing, however, was the gear knob round where the leather joins the metal. That's all perished and rubbed away, so that will either need touching up, or I'll just purchase a new one to replace that completely and to make it look fresh. The only thing is, you start replacing the gear knob, then you probably get into the hole of wanting to replace the steering wheel together and just having that all nice and clean. But we'll see. But that's it for the first vlog. I'm sure I'll get better at communicating my thoughts and how I clean things, and how Garage Therapy and our products are getting along, and getting divulge more information as the videos and the vlogs go on. But that's the first video of my 997 Turbo. I'm really pleased with it. It's a great car. In fact, I did find out a few faults while I was cleaning. The cigarette lighter doesn't work. Tried to plug in my trickle charger, and nothing was happening, so I had to plug it into the battery, so that was good. If anyone knows Porsches, is if you lose power to the car, it's very difficult to get access to the battery, because the boot, or the bonnet I should say, is electronically operated. So worst case scenario is you have to take the wheel off, take the arch liner out, and there's a mechanical pulley that you pull, and it opens. But that's a bit of a ball ache. But thank you very much. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.